You can earth yourself in your office is through earthing mats or earthing mouse pads. Now if you have a look at my desk here, this is an earthed mouse pad. Again, it's got a lead to it, which is also going into the earth of the power point. So again, I'll grab the end of the electrode. My voltage is 0.78 at the moment. It jumps around a little bit and it will vary. You know, if you do this experiment at home, you might find it's completely different, the EMF fields in your, or the electricity in your body. Now I'm going to touch this with my little finger, this earthed pad, and see what happens. It drops me down to 0.1. Take my finger off, up to about 0.8. So it's about an 8-fold difference in the voltage in my body just by putting my little pinky there. Now if I put my whole hand on, we're going right down to 0.05. Hand off, 0.8, hand on, 0.05. So if we're using just a mouse pad, just having our wrist resting there, we're down at around 0.5, 0.6, and it's a really simple way of being earthed. Now, under my desk, I also have this universal pad. Again, they're both made from this carbonized rubber. It's highly conductive material. With the pad, you can either have it on your desk under your mouse, so you know your hands are resting on it, or you can have it under your feet. The reason I like to have it under my feet in summer when I'm not wearing shoes is because the feet are the most conductive part of our body. So electrically we're going to get most earth if we can have our feet, both our feet, planted on one of these mats. So let's have a look. We're on, what's that? I'm touching the pad. We're on 0.7 if I'm not earthed. And I put both my feet flat on this and we come down to 0.47. So it's even lower than me having my hand on the mouse pad. So feet off the mat, we're up to 0.8 of a volt. Feet on the mat, we're down to 0.04 of a volt. So that's just a really simple way. You can earth yourself when you're sitting at your computer, you're in an electrical field. And I just want to show you another little experiment with wires. Now on this plug here, this power board has got a lead coming to it. Now if I grab hold of that, I'm just going to put the multimeter next to it so you can see what happens. Alright, so my voltage, I'm going to make sure I'm not touching anything that's earthing me. So right now, my voltage is about 0.9. It's almost 1 volt. I'm going to move my hand closer. As it gets closer, look at that. I'm not even touching it. It's doubled. It's gone up to 1.8 volts without even touching it. Now I grab the lead. I'm up to 8 volts. So massive difference. So most of us, I don't know about you, but I have a spaghetti of these wires and power boards for all my devices right at my feet. Let go. So you can just see electricity isn't confined to the wires, it is radiating out into our bodies. Alright, so I'm going to grab onto that and now I'm going to put my feet on the earthing mat. So it goes from 9 volts down to 0.1 volt. I'll take my feet off the earthing mat up to 9 volts, on the earthing mat down to 0.1 volt. So you can see that's a pretty dramatic difference, being earthed or not being earthed, to the level of voltage in my body. We're highly conductive beings, electrical beings. I certainly don't want, you know, these EMFs in my work environment, my home environment affecting me, so really happy to have these earthing products. We're going to go upstairs now and do some more experiments because the further you get away from the earth, the higher the voltage goes. So let's go and have a look at that. So now on the first floor of a building, this is our home, and I want to know what the current in my body is going to be on the first floor because I've heard that it goes much higher. So I've got my multimeter earthed, plugged into the earth socket down here, and I'm going to grab the other end. Wow, my voltage is 12 volts. I'm 12 volts up here. That's like more than 10 times what I was on the ground floor. Well over 10 times the voltage I was on the ground floor. So if you're living in high-rise, you know, or even on the first floor of a building, you're going to be at a high voltage, and it's even more important to get earthed the higher up you get. I've got an earthing mat here, so let's just see what happens when I step on it. So step on the earthing mat. We're going down to 0.1 of a volt. Point 1, I step off it, back up to 12 volts, onto the earthing mat, down to 0.1 of a volt. So staying earthed is, as far as I'm concerned, very important. I feel much better when I walk barefoot on the earth, on the beach and things like that. I've known that for years, but now science is starting to show why. We're actually getting negative ions coming up into our body, obviously from the earth, which makes us feel good, helps eliminate free radicals, and also we're discharging electricity that's come in from our modern environment. So welcome to my bedroom. This is another place we spend a lot of time, is in bed, at least 8 hours a night, most of us. Now, what most people have in their bedroom is they have a power point right here, next to their head, on either side of the bed, and there's also an electrical lead running right behind, in the wall, right behind here. I'm going to show you in another experiment, another video using a Gauss meter, how this electrical field actually radiates out right to where our head is while we're sleeping. So I think it's particularly important for myself to be earthed while I'm sleeping in an electrical field such as this. So again, I've got my multimeter. I've got it earthed through a power point, and I'm going to see what my voltage is just standing on the floor in the bedroom. It's a massive 15 volts. This is the highest reading that I've had outside, inside, anywhere. I'm at 15 volts standing on the bedroom floor. Now I've got a sheet on my bed which is earthed. If we have a close look at that, you're going to see it's got silver thread running through it. It connects in here with a lead and goes into the earth socket in the power point. Alternatively, you can run it out a window and use the earthing rod I showed you before. So let's see what happens to my voltage when I sit on the bed fully clothed. Let's see what happens. So I'm at around 15 volts as I was before. I sit on the bed with clothes and I drop down to 2.9 volts. So that's quite dramatic. That's about a 5-fold reduction, fully clothed, sitting on an earth sheet. Now what happens if I get up onto the sheet? My bare feet touch it. It drops 10-fold to 0.2. So just having a little bit of skin contact. I am getting earth through my clothes, but I get more when my skin comes in contact. Now the question is, do I get more earth the more skin I have in touch with the earthing sheet? So to do that, there's only one way to find out. So it's still around 0.2, so even it's giving me more connection, but it's not giving me a huge amount more earthing, around 0.2. It's still very low, and I'm very happy to be at 0.2 rather than at 15 volts, which is what I would be if I wasn't sleeping on this sheet. So as you can see, we've got some practical solutions for grounding yourself in the home. Outdoors is pretty easy because you can go barefoot or wear grounders, and hopefully we've demonstrated to you the effect or how much voltage is really coming into our bodies when we're inside a house or near power lines. So here's to your health, and look forward to showing you some other videos using a Gauss meter and some of our other products.